think you're really cool. I like you a lot. Maybe we can hang out or something. Hey, I think you're really cool. I like you a lot. Maybe we can hang out or something.
Okay. Thanks for checking out my channel. And today I'm kind of going to go over what I've done to the kayak trailer. Hopefully this will continue recording in the speed that I selected. A couple of times I've selected a quality standard and a speed, and it just didn't maintain that, so I didn't opt to use that video. So obviously what we have is my Hobie Pro Angler 14, and the basis of the trailer is a Malone. I thought it was something other than Eco Sport. I thought it was more like a multi-sport or something like that at the time. Some of the changes have been the springs a little bit heavier. Obviously the tires are wider. Now these are not golf cart tires. These are regular tires for, you know, trailers, like you'd find up on a pop-up tent, something like that. So that's first and foremost. And I maintained the neck and the lower frame, and welded and connected 2.5 by 2.5 1/8-inch wall tubing, mitered corners, into another box that's just about the same size, and then use more of the 2x2 tubing there. And obviously there's going to be 2 more pieces in there. Okay, there'll be another one over here, there, obviously, and then the one back there. Then after all of that was the wheels that when I would used to take the neck apart and lay it across the frame in the front, I would stand the trailer up on its end and roll it in the garage up against the wall out of the way. That's obviously not going to happen anymore. I then went on eBay and I bought a truck rack, which is this right here. Okay, and it is actually mounted, the pieces are, the arms, uprights are mounted opposite of the way that they would be on a truck. They would be thicker on the bottom by the bed and pointing in, arcing in, and becoming narrower. Okay, I opted to do it this way to give myself a little bit more width, because you can see that this fat kid is barely sliding in there. Well, not so much over here, but, and it's also loose. Okay, I don't drive down the street with the straps this loose. So anyways, it's arced out, and I made sure that it didn't go over like the center line of the tires, or the fenders, and maybe a little over the center line of the fenders, but definitely not the tires. And then one of the things I discovered about having a roof rack on my Subaru, and a black Subaru at that, in the South, pine pollen will kick your backside, and you can't run it through the car wash because of that. So I opted to go ahead and take it off and mount it on top of there. And at some point there'll probably be a lockable basket or a lock box up in there, so that I can keep my drive for my Hobie in there locked when I'm going down the street. Optimally, I would like to have no more stuff in the back of the car that would cause it to become just nasty and filthy and just yeah. So, you know, that's difficult to do. Then after it was all put together and everything, we painted it, primed it. Now the the upper frame is, like I said, 2.5 by 2.5 1/8-inch wall tubing, and it's carbon steel, and so is that the uprights. Now, the reason they were placed there is if I decided I wanted to at some point not have the Hobie on there, and I could make or place some rails on the front and back and kind of encapsulate it and use it for a regular trailer. Now, right now the straps are just wrapped around the reinforcing piece, and I don't use ratchet straps, and I'm telling you, don't use ratchet straps. There's absolutely no need for ratchet strap. You can use these cam locks right here, just like that one right there, and this thing will go nowhere. Your kayak will go nowhere. This thing is a freaking pig. It weighs about 200 pounds when I've got all the crap on it. And if it doesn't go anywhere, I promise you, yours isn't going to go anywhere. Eventually, I'm probably going to put D-rings right there and right there, or rings, so that I can pull it through a ring and lock it down. I haven't done it yet. On this upright here, right there, eventually is going to be another tail light, an LED tail light, but an upright one, and the same here, so it's a little bit more visible when I, obviously put on the brakes. And I'm thinking about, when I replace the battery on that, it's still serviceable, keep it charged up, maybe build a little box down in that area somewhere and keep the battery in there, and potentially put some lights there and there, maybe in the back and on the other side, so that whatever place that boat ramp that I launch from, there's a lot of times it's just pitch dark and you can't see anything. So that's a future thing. At some point, off of one of these uprights, I'm going to mount an arm that you can either just put on and take off, or it's an arm that you swing over and lock it down. Something. I've got a small Weber grill that's got the screw-on propane tanks, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to be able to cook your lunch, go out, mess around in the water, come back, have yourself something to eat. The other idea, the reason I made this so heavy, is at some point, now again, I'm going to replace that neck. It's going to be replaced with carbon steel, and it's going to get broke right about right there, okay, with a fold over neck. So I'm going to have to put a kickstand somewhere right around there to keep it level. But I'm thinking that at some point I may decide that I'm going to put jack stands under it and level it. Then the thing, if I do that, then I would take this basket off and put a piece of plywood across it and snug it down, and you could put a tent up there, and you could go out tent camping and kayaking on this trailer with the little grill. You'd have your whole self-contained little deal. So that's kind of where I'm at. The other thing I've contemplated is having a little stinger built in the back there, which would be like another little trailer hitch assembly like that right there, but mount it back there, or simply just mount a 2-inch pipe or whatever, maybe connect the two from the tongue all the way to the back, and have it converted to a 2x2, so that I could have a hitch receiver in the back. And at that point I could maybe if it was just a little bit lower, I could put the basket under there and secure it to that, and it would be protected from theft by the kayak being over the top of it. Now, the new Lowboy by Malone has those tires on it, okay, and rims. Maybe not the rims, but it looks very similar to this, except for the fenders that obviously fit. And it's a little bit lower. This was quite a bit higher, if you build it the way that the plans tell you to build it when you get the kit, and they don't come pre-assembled, you have to assemble them, then it sets quite a bit higher than that. And I felt that the center of height was a little too high and a little unstable. Somebody asked me how it travels. It travels supremely better than it did before. And I think that I'll completely take any wiggle or waggle out of it by replacing that tongue. I think that break point right there is the weak sister in the whole thing, and I'm gonna act to correct that promptly. So that is my Pro Angler 14, the trailer. And the other thing is when I replace the neck, then I've got more than, oh, and I don't know if you can see that sheet right there. It's a sheet of 3/4 inch, 2 foot by 4 foot, that is just simply bolted on that top rail, okay? And the kayak is just setting flat on top of it and tied down. That is, Hobie tells you that is the best way to store the thing, is just flat on a flat surface. So if it's perfectly fine to store it for winter or whatever, it's perfectly fine to travel with it. So, and I'm sure as soon as Hobie comes out with a way of making and extruding their own PVC sheets or tubing, it'll be acceptable also. So those are some of my other craziness, the rail system and the additional stuff that I put all over it. So anyways, I appreciate it. If this was any help or, you know, informative at all, do me a favor, give me a like, support my channel, follow me, and if you have a channel, make sure that you let me know what your channel is, and I'll do the same and start supporting your activities and your passion for just getting out and enjoying this incredible country that we are temporarily still stewards of. Thanks, I appreciate it. Bye. If you like this video, hit like. If you don't like it, hit unlike twice. Thanks.